Thank you, Teresa. I appreciate everyone being here this morning. The Arkansas State Highway and Transportation Department takes safety very seriously. As a matter of fact, it's the first key word in our mission statement. And there are a lot of components to traffic safety. There's a vehicle, there's a roadway, there's a driver, and to really make improvements in traffic safety, we look at 4 different factors. We look at engineering, enforcement, emergency services, education, and even public policy. And that's why we've coordinated with these multiple agencies that are here today in developing Arkansas's strategic highway safety plan. And our Highway Commission adopted that strategic highway safety plan this past year with a theme, an ultimate goal of towards zero deaths. We are really the engineering component for this effort. We tackle a lot of engineering challenges every day in an effort to try to make our roadways as safe as possible, both for the driver and for the workers that we have and the contractors have in work zones. We've added hundreds of miles of cable median barriers to our divided highways. We've added thousands of miles of rumble strips to our 16,000-mile highway system. And those are some of the comprehensive improvements that we've looked at to try to make travel safer. And we're starting to see the benefits from those improvements. When you look back at 1961, that's the last year really that we had a lower number of traffic deaths than we had in 2013. 2013, the lowest number of traffic deaths in Arkansas we had since 1961.
Could you say that one more time?
In 2013, we had the lowest number of traffic deaths in Arkansas since 1961.
Wow.
But to really put that in perspective, we have now almost 5 times the travel on our roadways that we had in 1961. We've cut the fatality rate to 25% of what it was in 1961. So all of these improvements that we've made in really reducing our fatality rate over the last 50 years have saved over 40,000 lives on our highway system in that time frame. That's the importance of what we've done. But there's still more to do. We work closely with a lot in the construction industry to make sure that we have safe practices. The Arkansas chapter of the Associated General Contractors shares our vision. Richard Hedgecock and his group do a great job within that industry to promote traffic safety. They're going to be partners with us in this campaign. We really appreciate their support and their leadership. They and a lot of our employees really have the highways as their office. And a lot of times the only thing that separates their desk and a vehicle traveling 70 miles an hour is an orange barrier. So work zone safety is going to be something that's extremely important, and that importance is going to increase over the next few years because the people of Arkansas have approved 2 statewide highway programs that we're undertaking now. So we're going to see many, many more work zones across the state over the next few years. We just launched last year a new website called idrivearkansas.com to try to inform the travelers of where those work zones are, inform them of traffic conditions and travel conditions before they get on the road. And we think that website is going to help play a huge role just in the education of the driver and hopefully make things a lot safer too. We're also going to link the Towards Zero Deaths webpage to our idrivearkansas.com website. So we think this is going to be something that's important too. But we're excited to be here today to do our part as a team working towards zero deaths because we know that 1 death is too many. Thank you.
But anyway, good morning. I am especially pleased to be here to join everyone in taking the next step. A new challenge and to lower the number of highway deaths, not only here in Arkansas, but nationwide. Enormous progress has already occurred in making our streets and highways safer. The good news is that preliminary figures indicate 80 fewer people died on Arkansas roads last year than in 2012. Reduction in fatalities came as a result of incredible efforts on the part of the state, county, and local law enforcement, and with the help of healthcare groups, community and corporate support, and traffic safety partners like the State Highway and Transportation Department. With over 500 fatalities happening on Arkansas roadways each year, traffic safety remains an important issue in our state. I looked at some stats before I came up 10 years back, and over the last 10 years, our largest year in fatalities was 2004, and there were 703 fatalities. Last year there was 480. So in 9 years, we've saved 223 lives. As the director of the Arkansas State Police, I'm prepared to pledge the personnel and resources to the Toward Zero Deaths campaign by providing Arkansas motorists with the knowledge they need to drive safely, and continuing in our role to enforce traffic laws will help move toward zero deaths here in Arkansas. Already in 2014, troopers are demonstrating their commitment to continue in their collective effort to reduce human tragedy on our state highways. The enforcement initiatives by police officers across the state have paid off. Over the past 12 years, the Click It or Ticket program has resulted in a 23% increase in seatbelt use among Arkansas motorists. Arkansas now registers a 77% use rate in motorists using a seatbelt. But that's still 9% below the national average. And this is one area we can improve through continuing education and enforcement activities. Combined with the rejuvenated effort in DWI enforcement, child safety seat use, and crackdowns on distracted driving, Arkansas can make significant strides in furthering reducing the death on the streets, roads, and highways everywhere. Toward Zero Deaths is a start toward a goal that will directly impact every Arkansas family. We've all witnessed the pain and the agony of friends and family who've lost a loved one in a fatality crash. Arkansas State Police, along with deputies and local police officers, pledge to do our part. But to reach the goal, we'll need the help of responsible drivers. Arkansans have already demonstrated their willingness to drive more safely. Today, I challenge you to join us to stop the heartbreak of death on the highways and work with law enforcement to make Toward Zero Deaths a reality. Thank you.
Injury is the leading cause of death among children and adults less than 45 years of age in Arkansas and in the U.S. And motor vehicle accident deaths contribute a major proportion of those injury-related deaths. As you've heard from Director Bennett and Colonel Witt, we've made tremendous progress here in Arkansas in reducing the number of motor vehicle related deaths in this state, but we still have rates that are well above the national average, and each year we have almost 500 individuals who lose their lives due to motor vehicle accidents. And each of those numbers is not just a number. It represents a personal tragedy at an individual level and to friends, families, and whole communities. This is not an incurable disease, though. The Centers for Disease Control, CDC, has recognized reduction of motor vehicle crashes as one of their 10 winnable battles. This is something that we can do something about. There are strategies that can reduce our number of deaths even further, and we can come up with new ideas for doing that. Towards that end, I've asked our staff at the Arkansas Department of Health to look at each of these motor vehicle deaths and identify potentially preventable causes and contributing factors so that we can gain insight into what it's going to take to prevent each of those deaths. It's just not not reasonable or acceptable that someone should have to lose their lives just to get from point A to point B. The Towards Zero Deaths program, though, is a major step in that direction. It is an approach that is evidence-based. In states that have implemented Towards Zero Deaths campaigns or similar campaigns, they have seen reductions in the rates of motor vehicle deaths and lives saved. Towards Zero Deaths is also a philosophical approach. We're saying basically there's not an acceptable number of deaths. How many family members do you think it's acceptable to lose this year in an auto accident? If I ask each of you, probably the answer would be 0. And we're saying that as a state as well. There's not an acceptable loss here. Our job is not done until we've made vehicle transport truly safe. And Towards Zero Deaths is also a collaborative approach. This is not something that any one of us can do by ourselves. It requires education, enforcement, engineering, and emergency medical services. But by working together, we can make a difference and we can get towards 0 deaths. I just want to sum up, from my perspective, through innovation, through collaboration, and through just sustained hard work, we can make progress and ultimately achieve 0 deaths. Thank you.